planet like us is going to have an age and an old age, and we are in its golden summer age right now. But there's two fates to everything, isn't there? Now, a lot of you are going to die of old age, but some of you, horribly enough, are going to die in an accident, and that's the fate of a planet too.
Are the 10 to the 18th power, that's 1,000,000 trillion insects, and other small creatures, and to make a plea for them. If we were to wipe out insects alone, just that group alone on this planet, which we are trying hard to do, the rest of life and humanity with it would mostly disappear from the land and within a few months.
Good afternoon, good evening, whatever. We can go jumbo, guten Abend, bonsoir, but we can also that is the call that chimpanzees make before they go to sleep in the evening. You hear it going from one side of the valley to the other, from one group of nests to the next. Chimpanzees, I believe, more than any other living creature, has helped us to understand that, after all, there is no sharp line between humans and the rest of the animal kingdom. It's a very blurry line, and it's getting more blurry all the time as we make even more observations. The study that I began in 1960 is still continuing to this day. And these chimpanzees living their complex social lives in the wild have helped more than anything else to make us realize we are part of and not separated from the amazing animals with whom we share the planet. So it's pretty sad to find that chimpanzees, like so many other creatures around the world, are losing their habitats, are major problems. There is a great deal of poverty. And when you get large numbers of people living in land that is not that fertile, particularly when you cut down trees and you leave the soil open to the wind for erosion, as desperate populations cut down more and more trees so that they can try and grow food for themselves and their families, what's going to happen? Something's got to give. And the other problems in not only Africa, but the rest of the developing world, and indeed everywhere. What are we doing to our planet? You know, the famous scientist E.OWilson said that if every person on this planet attains the standard of living of the average European or American, we need 3 new planets. Today they're saying 4, but we don't have them. We've got 1. And what's happened? I mean, the question here is, here we are, arguably the most intelligent being that's ever walked planet Earth, with this extraordinary brain, capable of the kind of technology that is so well illustrated by these TED conferences. And yet we're destroying the only home we have. The indigenous people around the world, before they made a major decision, used to sit around and ask themselves, how does this decision affect our people 7 generations ahead? Today, major decisions, and I'm not particularly talking about Africa here, but the developed world, major decisions involving millions of dollars and millions of people are often based on how will this affect the next shareholders meeting. And these decisions affect Africa. As I began traveling around Africa talking about the problems faced by chimpanzees and their vanishing forests, I realized more and more how so many of Africa's problems could be laid at the door of previous colonial exploitation. So I began traveling outside Africa, talking in Europe, talking in the United States, going to Asia. And everywhere there were these terrible problems. And you know the kind I'm talking about. I'm talking about pollution. The air that we breathe often poisons us. The earth is poisoning our foods. The water Water is perhaps one of the most crucial issues that we're going to face in this century. And everywhere, water is being polluted by agricultural, industrial, and household chemicals that still are being sprayed around the world, seemingly with the inability to profit from past experience. The mangroves are being cut down. The effects of things like the tsunami get worse. We've talked about the soil erosion. We have the reckless burning of fossil fuels, along with other greenhouse gases, so-called, leading to climate change. Finally, all around the world, people have begun to believe that there is something going on very wrong with our climate. All around the world, climates are mixed up. And it's the poor people who are affected worse. It's Africa that already is affected. In many parts of sub-Saharan Africa, the droughts are so much worse, and when the rain does come, it so often leads to flooding and added distress. And the cycle of poverty and hunger and disease, and the numbers of people living in an area that the land cannot support, who are too poor to buy food, who can't move away because the whole land is degraded. And so you get desertification creeping, creeping, creeping as the last of the trees are cut down. And this kind of thing is not just in Africa, it's all over the world. So it wasn't surprising to me that as I was traveling around the world, I met so many young people who seemed to have lost hope. We seem to have lost wisdom, the wisdom of the indigenous people. I asked a question, why? Well, do you think there could be some kind of disconnect between this extraordinarily clever brain, the kind of brain that the TED technologies exemplify, and the human heart, talking about it in the non-scientific term, in terms of love and compassion? Is there some disconnect? And these young people, when I talked to them, basically they were either depressed or apathetic or bitter and angry, and they said more or less the same thing. We feel this way because we feel you've compromised our future, and there's nothing we can do about it. We have compromised their future. I've got 3 little grandchildren, and every time I look at them and I think how we've harmed this beautiful planet since I was their age, I feel this desperation.
People are locked into a box. They see the box around them. They see the leaks and the holes and the cracks, and they go up to the cracks and they try to fix them. They try to patch the holes. But they don't stop to think that maybe there's something wrong with the box itself. Maybe the integrity of the box that they exist in is inherently invalid. It's inherently void. The economic system that we live in is a parasitic paradigm that is only going to lead to self-destruction. But people don't see that. So if you attack the economic system for what it actually is, everyone's feathers go up. Everyone says, well, wait a minute, this is the world we all live. We live in a profit-based, labor-for-income world, cyclical consumption. This is what we're used to. We understand we have division of classes. You know, they throw in human nature. They throw in everything that will try to make it seem like it's a part of the natural order of reality when it in fact is not. Again, we have to learn how to we have to learn how to identify and break our own indoctrination if we expect to move forward at all as a civilization.